decided by the Council of Ministers in January of 2019, and as approved by Parliament through the 2019 national budget, the reconstruction of the airport is to be financed by the St. Maarten Trust Fund, that is financed by the World Bank and through a loan of the European Investment Bank. With the necessary support of all involved stakeholders, including the Kingdom Council of Ministers, this existing financing plan will ensure the full reopening of the airport terminal in the fastest possible manner. The agreement made with the Government of the Netherlands on the financing of the reconstruction of the airport was recently confirmed by His Excellency the Governor in his formation assignment to the formateur MP Sylvia Jacobs. As stated in the assignment to the formateur, the interim government, and I quote, will give priority to execute the agreements made with the Netherlands regarding the financing of the national recovery of St. Maarten, including the financing of the rehabilitation of the airport. The fact that the formateur accepted this assignment without any conditions is understood by the current Council of Ministers as a very positive sign and as an additional assurance to the people of St. Maarten and the Government of the Netherlands that the upcoming elections will not interrupt the airport terminal reconstruction project. Mr. Chairman, over the past 2 months, the Council of Ministers has kept the people of St. Maarten informed about the latest developments on the signing of the legal agreements for the next phase of the airport terminal reconstruction project. As this Parliament knows, the Governor has signed 5 national decrees authorizing the responsible caretaker ministers to sign the 5 key legal agreements for the next phase of the project. With these national decrees and the recent entry into force of the 2019 budget, there is a mandate for the responsible caretaker ministers to sign the grant agreement with the World Bank, the loan agreement with the European Investment Bank, the agreement with the bondholders on the release of the insurance proceeds, and the 2 on-landing agreements between the Government of St. Maarten and the airport itself. My intention was to sign the different legal agreements during and immediately after my visit to Washington, D.C. 2 weeks ago, where I attended the annual meetings of the World Bank and the IMF. Unfortunately, however, this turned out to be impossible. The reason being that some of the involved parties requested additional clarifications before the formal signing about the recent political developments. The motion of Parliament dated September 25th has raised concerns among the involved parties, and especially the bondholders, about the authority of the caretaker government to sign the legal agreements for the airport project, because the motion specifically instructs the caretaker Council of Ministers not to enter into any contracts with third parties, whether collectively or individually. Mr. Chairman, I really hope that this matter can be clarified today. The latest update that the Council of Ministers has received from the bondholders is that the signing of the agreement on the insurance proceeds requires an unequivocal statement of Parliament through a motion confirming that this agreement and the agreements with the World Bank and the EIB can be signed immediately. In this way, the agreements can be signed in a matter of days. Again, I really hope that this is possible for the sake of the airport and the country of St. Maarten. I believe the time to act is now, Mr. Chairman. Upon signing, the caretaker government and subsequently the incoming interim government will have the very important task to ensure that all the conditions for disbursement of the available funding are satisfied or continue to be satisfied. This includes the agreements made with the Government of the Netherlands and the boards of the airport on enhanced corporate governance. These agreements serve to ensure that the airport will be managed in accordance with the Corporate Governance Code and principles of good corporate governance, such as accountability, responsibility, and transparency. In line with the instructions of the Governor, the Caretaker Council of Ministers will do everything in its power to fulfill the necessary disbursement conditions and assist the airport and the NRPB with a continuation of the airport terminal reconstruction project. It will then be for the incoming interim government to ensure that the country of St. Maarten remains fully compliant with all requirements under the different legal agreements.
A beautiful thing happens when you get a group of motivated people together. You get the job done. It doesn't matter what their background is. All that matters is their common goal, their spirit, their dedication. It makes all the difference, doesn't it? And we want you to know that being there for you when you need us is our goal. We're here to work with you in every way. Because no matter what we do or where we are, we understand. The difference is you. We're here to help.
Republic Bank, we're the one for you.
GEBE has been faithfully serving the communities of St. Martin, powering your home and our economy. Come rain or shine, our qualified team of professionals are working hard 24 hours a day to provide you and your family with safe, reliable electricity and water. We use the latest technologies and test our products daily to maintain the highest international standards. Our friendly staff is always there to assist you, whether in person, over the phone, or online. We are committed to constantly improving our products and services, making them more efficient, effective, and environmentally friendly to serve you better today and our next generation of clients tomorrow. GEBE, powering a brighter future.
Our friend Megawati is here with tips to save you energy. 1. Turn your airco temperature up. 2. Use a ceiling fan instead. 3. Buy energy-saving products. Save some green with NVGEBE.
In your answer on the who are the board members, you mentioned the present boards, and there's a name, Mr. Alemaka. Would it be possible for you to clarify who is this gentleman and his background, possibly? Because that's the one name that I didn't recognize in the whole bunch. Besides that, Mr. Chair, via you, Minister, you also mentioned that the present bond holding board director has a salary of 8,000 guilders, and you did mention that there was a time, and you can correct me if I understood wrongly, that Mr. Peterson, Mr. Joseph Peterson, also consulted during the time that Mr. Doncher was the director. My question to that is, seeing that Mr. Peterson was a former director, and seeing also that recently the negative word in St. Martin has been the word consultant, in what capacity was Mr. Peterson advising Mr. Doncher? Because what it seems to me is doubling up the director position, and I would like to have that clarified if that was the case, yes or no. Then, Mr. Chair, via you to the Minister of Finance, the list, Minister, of contractors, still can't get it. I'm just advising you that I will continue to request that list from you as long as I am a member of Parliament, until hopefully I get that list of contractors which provided services and work at the PGIA post-Hurricane Irma. Also via you, Mr. Chair, in your answers, Minister of Finance, you also indicated that Balas Nedam is owed, I can't remember the exact amount, 1.5 or 2.5 million?
2.4.
2.4 million. Thank you, Mr. Chair. My question to you is, has Balas Nedam or any other contractor that may be owed money by PGIA taken PGIA to court or threatened to take PGIA to court? So have we gotten to that phase as yet? Because what it seems to me is that Balas Nedam, by them being owed this money, has pretty much financed the roof of PGIA, as well as I'm hearing out there from many subcontractors who are saying they still have not been fully paid. So they are also financing the airport.
MP Peterson,
Yeah.
It's just a point of clarification. It's not adding new questions. It's just clarifying in this phase.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and that wraps it up for me.
Okay, thank you, MP Peterson.
Was made by the Minister of Finance that there's a need for legal advice first. However, Mr. Chairman, in the documentation that was sent by the Minister of Finance, there is a legal opinion from a firm that we all know very well, and from a Professor Van Rijn that we also are aware of, a reputable lawyer. And is the Minister aware and can clarify the conclusion of that legal advice, which states, on the basis of the above, I am of the opinion that, despite the outgoing status, the two ministers are authorized by national decree of October 4th to sign the concession undertaking and disbursement agreement. And I would like to point out that the legal requirements must also be met for the rest. So, Mr. Chairman, I'm getting two different situations. We need legal advice. I need clarity as whether maybe the minister does not agree with this conclusion, and why is he even here in Parliament asking us when he already has the legal advice. That's what I would like to get clarified. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Chairman, just one clarification, because I really want to hear that what the minister said is actually true. Is the minister saying that the individual that came from Telem, that the CEO brought from Telem to advise him or work with him, that the payment for that individual and the contract for that individual is confidential? I would like to know if that's what the answer is, that the individual that came from Telem, that the CEO brought from Telem to work with him, that the payment and the contract for that individual is confidential. And the reason why I'm asking that question, Mr. Chairman, because he could have tell what Doncher making, he could have tell what other board members making, but that individual that you bring from Telem
We don't know what he is making because his contract is confidential. I just want to get that on the record that that's confidential.
Make use of WIB mobile banking with easy access and direct usage of face recognition, PIN code, or fingerprint. Download WIB mobile banking app and make your transaction from anywhere at any time. For more information, visit wib-bank.net/quick-login.
Operational licenses. He has airport knowledge and experience, and he also sat on several supervisory boards of international airports spanning the Caribbean, North America, Europe, and holds professional membership in aviation-related councils. With his background, he was proposed to fill in the position on the holding board and can play, therefore, a significant role as a member of the holding board. Then MP Peterson was requesting had questions about clarifying the relationship between Mr. Joe Peterson and Mr. Doncher. Mr. Chairman, I cannot give you any clarification because that was really before my time. But if the MP so wishes, we can find it out and inform afterwards, perhaps in writing. The list of contractors is available. Will be shared with House of Parliament later today. Let's see. That Ballasnedam indeed owes. We owe them 2.5 million. And then want to clarify if there are any court cases. No, they are not as yet. Therefore, the airport agreed on payment arrangements in anticipating of the release of the insurance proceeds, and that is what it is. MP Bryson, Mr. Chairman, kind of refer to why I'm here in Parliament, because the legal advice of Professor Van Rijn is clear. Mr. Chairman, in my opening remarks, I gave a detailed information on all this legal advice. And so I even answered that question already in my opening remarks. But I would like to, in short terms, quickly, after the motion of no confidence, the one legal counsel, it's the Van Epps, Kuneman, and Van Doorn, came with their legal advice stating that the motion might bring into question the mandate for us to sign. Then Professor Van Rijn, together with, firstly, came with a legal advice that says the contrary, as the MP Bryson stating it. There was an unqualified legal opinion together with Van Rijn and Lexwell that also concluded that. But I also mentioned in my opening remarks through you, Mr. Chairman, to MP Bryson, that the bondholder still didn't feel confident enough in that manner, and that's why they asked for Parliament to have a clear statement. We have no problem, and then we can sign almost immediately.
The idea was to do this course. It's an accelerated course, so you're prepared for the future. Once you are LPN, level 3, and you want to go to level 4, you will do it in an accelerated time, 2 years. But then came Irma, Nurse Irma. And in this group, I don't know how they do it, but I think, first of all, by the grace of God, that some are still here sitting and will be standing later. We have persons here whose children had to go abroad. We had persons who had to go back to their islands. We had persons who didn't have a roof, who couldn't find their books, who couldn't find their assignments, and who naturally went through their own storms. And then for us, myself and my colleague, it was no longer teaching. We could not teach. We had to care first. We had to care for each and every one of them. And my motto to them was, Irma came and gone. She left you behind. You're still standing. So that little that you have while you're standing, with that little, you're going to reach the end. And today, they did. Special thanks to management and staff of the other institutions. I have to give a big shout out to one who's always there with me through thick and thin, Brechtje Boetekes. That's the pioneer for education. For them, it was not easy because we had to lengthen the practical on their internship. So mean that some of the institution on days had to do it without staff or accumulate over time. But this is the result. It was not in waste. Important to our graduates. As one said, this is the beginning. It is not the end. In nursing, there's never an end. I'm looking at nurses here who have retired, but they are still nurse in mind. Once a nurse, always a nurse. The practical training was in every setting. They went to the district, they went to mental health, we sent them to public health, we sent them to the ambulance. They had a total all-around training. So they know what's out there, and you know what's out there. You're young and becoming, and I admonish you to join with Nursing Association, because not only the hospital, but St. Martin needs you. And I'm going to embark in one area. That's the area of district nursing. We had 5 batch of nurses, graduates. And every time I'm in front of the classroom and I hear the concerns and the grievance, what they experience in the district, you either say it's a shame or you either say it's pitiful. And I think we as nurses have a word. And our word is, we cannot tell our government what to do, but we can show our government where they have to go and look for these people. We should not wait until the next 6th batch of nurses to inform our government where to go. Just as our government know how to find people for a vote, you're going to show them how to find people to take care of them. So, we are not going to contain our work within 4 walls. We too are going out there. You have a job to do. If they can't find those people, you have to show them how to get to those people. First of all, you have knowledge and you gain skill. But the only knowledge and skill that each patient, any patient, loves is a smile. Anyone can be a nurse, but not every nurse can give service. So therefore, don't let the sash, the diploma, and the pinning go to your head. You take that to the head of your patients and let them know you are here to give them the best because they deserve the best. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.